What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we have some news about Captain America Brave New World, and depending on how you view this news, it could be either really bad or it could be good. I'm not sure if it could be really good or even great news, but I do applaud Marvel Studios for their recent strategy and mentality when it comes to their recent movies in Phase 5, which we'll go over and talk about that strategy in this video. And the piece of news that we are talking about today is reportedly Marvel Studios is changing Captain America Brave New World even more now. And according to industry insider Daniel RPK, the reason that they are changing this even more is because they did yet another test screening for Captain America Brave New World, which is common at this point in time, only a few months till it releases. But apparently, and unfortunately, the test screening reactions were pretty negative, meaning that people didn't really like what they saw. Now, if you're not familiar with how Disney does test screenings, they basically send an invitation out to random members that work for Disney. And they don't tell them what movie that they're going to see. They just tell them, hey, this is a movie, it's a test screening, do you want to see it or not? They say yes or no, they show up, and hopefully it's a movie that they're interested in. But this way it keeps it pretty random and hopefully gives Disney some unbiased opinions. Although recently we have heard that the studios are kind of looking more towards fans to kind of give them some reactions, so perhaps they've handpicked some fans out there. And I would like to think that if a movie is kind of bad, the fans would say, hey, we don't particularly like this. This is a way that we would rather have it done. And it's up to the studio on whether or not they listen. But in this case, it looks like Marvel Studios is listening to the negative reports in their recent test screening, and they are changing yet even more. And we have seen recently that Anthony Mackie is reshooting some scenes. He is filming again. He's filming in LA. So this is all seemingly checking out and lining up. But here's the thing, like I always try to do on the channel, let's try to look at this optimistically instead of just writing the movie off. Yes, this movie has gone through a lot of reshoots, and as far as we're concerned, we've heard that they've at one point in time just kind of completely rewrote the movie, which Marvel Studios has done on a few projects recently. In fact, they did this for Daredevil Born Again Season 1. At one point in time, they just shut it all down and completely rewrote the script. And of course, as most probably know, they have done this many times for Blade. In fact, the last that we heard about Blade is that it's still happening, but yet again, they're completely rewriting the script. But here's the deal. I think that this is a good thing. Instead of simply just going, okay, well, the reviews, the test screening reactions are negative. It is what it is. We're just going to have a bad movie. They're doing everything that they possibly can to make it a better movie, to make it a good, to make it a great movie. Because honestly, the trailer looks pretty dang good. All trailers and footage that we've seen for Captain America Brave New World, they all look freaking amazing. But unfortunately, we've all experienced a movie where the trailer was actually better than the movie itself. And perhaps this is just one of those situations because trailer editing can really get you pumped for a movie, but show you all of the best parts. Now, what could they be changing about Captain America Brave New World? Well, the first round of test screenings that they did also had some pretty negative reactions, and reportedly, the audience said that the overall political message of the movie was boring and uninspiring. They also said that the action wasn't as satisfactory as in previous Captain America movies, and Anthony Mackie's chemistry with his romantic co-lead apparently fell flat. Those test screening reactions made Marvel Studios do reshoots over the summer, which reportedly added about $100 million to the movie's budget. So again, kudos to Marvel for putting in the money to make it better and actually having faith in the movie, or enough faith at least, to believe that they're going to recoup that money. So it seems like with the last test screenings, they decided to change the political messaging of the film. And if you're worried about the political messaging, that just simply means that we have a movie where Captain America is all of a sudden asked to work for the President of the United States. The President of the United States, who was the person in charge of the Sokovia Accords, the person that was basically responsible of tearing the Avengers apart. And that's actually a line from the movie. They haven't released this in any public trailers yet, but in the D23 trailer that they show us Sam meeting with President Thunderbolt Ross, who again was the person in charge of the Sokovia Accords, the person who wanted to hunt down and lock up half of the Avengers, the person who actually did lock up half of the Avengers, but of course they were broken out by Steve Rogers. Well, that person is now president in Captain America Brave New World, and when he meets with Sam, he tells Sam two things. One we've seen in the trailers that have been publicly released. He tells Sam that he wants Captain America to be an official government position again, but he also tells him that he wants the Avengers to basically be the same thing. He tells Sam that he wants him to assemble an Avengers team. When he tells this to Sam, Sam is, and rightfully so, very confused and conflicted. And he literally says, "Sir, the Sokovia Accords tore the Avengers apart," talking about Captain America Civil War and after. And he essentially says, why? What has changed? Why do you all of a sudden want an Avengers team rather than trying to put them in jail? And he basically says, hey, I'm the president now, so everybody is kind of my concern, and I need an Avengers team. It's my responsibility to look after essentially the entire world, he says. And I don't think they're changing any of that. In fact, I think they're actually going to probably dive more into that, involve the Avengers probably a little bit more than they were involved before. But when you hear political messaging, I don't want you to think like the recent election. I want you to think politics inside of the MCU. Although I'm sure we'll see some mirroring a little bit inside of the film. So I think they might actually go on to add a little bit more Avengers components to this film. And it would make sense considering that we are going to go into Avengers Doomsday relatively soon. In fact, the next few movies that are going to come out are going right into Doomsday. So Captain America Brave New World, the story continues in Avengers Doomsday. Same thing for the Thunderbolts, and the same thing goes for the Fantastic Four. So Sam Wilson, Captain America, assembling an Avengers team in Brave New World seems to be the case. That seems to be what they're going to do. However, we have heard from insiders that we really don't see much of them. And let's be honest, if they really want to improve this movie, show some cameos. No, it's not doing much to the plot or the story, but it will give people a pretty good feeling and will make them excited. And it'll make people want to go back to the theaters to see the cameos again. As far as the story is concerned, I hope they do clean it up a bit. If they really just kind of focused on just a solid story and some really great action sequences between Captain America and Red Hulk, then threw some cameos in there, I think people would have a really great movie to watch. And again, everything that we've seen in the trailer actually looks really good. So I hope these new recent changes are just simply to clean it up a little bit, make the story a little bit better, maybe add a cameo or two, and hopefully we get a great movie out of it. I'm still really excited to see this movie. Sometimes you can't really be, too sure about test screenings because you just have no idea who's watching the movie. Unfortunately, 2 in a row and possibly more that we might not have heard about do seem to point to the same direction, but hopefully they clean it all up and we do get a great movie. But go ahead, let me know your thoughts about this in the comments down below. Are you still excited about Captain America Brave New World? Are you not excited, and were you never actually excited for the movie? However you feel, let us know. I'm still excited for it, but leave your thoughts in the comments down below. Please don't forget to like this video and subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the latest MCU videos for news, rumors, or leaks. You can also find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And as always, thank you all so much for watching. Woof woof.